Hey folks, my name is Pravus and welcome to more Surviving Mars! We are playing at maximum difficulty, almost, with our own personal custom cult of Pravus mod. And so far I'd say things are going just swimmingly. I mean, we're having problems with the mod, more than you know, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but the colony's doing well. We've got our dome, we got some colonists well before we needed to, we've even had our first birth, which means the founder stage is already over. But now we're in that weird transition phase between a drone-centric economy into a colonist-centric economy. And that means we have to worry about the rebel yell growing pains. If you don't know how that works, once you get to 15 pops in a dome or more, it can trigger. Whoever has the lowest morale in your dome, one colonist per soul per dome is going to become a renegade. It doesn't matter that they had high morale, it doesn't matter. Whoever has the lowest is going to become a renegade. And renegades don't work. They can steal your resources, they can sabotage buildings and trigger negative events. Lots of nasty things that you want nothing to do with, right? The way to get around that is to spread your population around between a bunch of domes and keep it relatively small. So for example, if I had these 3 domes over here and I had an even spread of population, I could have up to 45 colonists, but as long as I'm not going above 15 per dome, I don't trigger a single renegade. That's the way to get around it. That's ultimately what we're going to have to do, and I will need to build up this other dome here pretty soon. You could also try getting yourself one really big dome, and that's where most of your population is going to end up being, and that's usually a good strategy. And then you send the one renegade you get per soul out an airlock and kill them. But as long as you have a really high birth rate in that one dome and none of the other ones are creating renegades, you can easily stay on top of it. And that's probably what we're going to do. The other issues I've been having, though, is mostly from a modding scene. And I knew this was going to happen because it's my first time trying to make a mod, and this entire game is coded in Lua, which is a weird language. I mean, it follows a lot of the basics you'd expect, right? You know, set variable, blah, 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 but it does get a little confusing. I've been working with Alpha Dragon from my Discord. She's studying programming. She's helping me a little bit. She figured out why the decal isn't working. All right, cool. We've got that fixed. In fact, if I take a look here, there it is. So it'll work on a new rocket, probably, just not on the existing one for some reason. We also think that the reason the passenger list did not show up in the last video is because I set all of my colonists to be religious. I don't know why that would be related. It doesn't make sense. That feels more like an actual game bug than anything I did. What I did mess up, though, is actually my funding. We have way more money than I am supposed to have at this stage of the mod. Because instead of getting $40 million per soul, it looks like I'm getting $40 million every half a soul. I checked the parameters. Sure enough, there's a mistake in there. I fixed it. But here's something weird. Surviving Mars, the save files say that they update the version of the mod, but it doesn't apparently actually change the internal parameters to match. So if I keep going right now, you're going to see that we got some money already at the beginning of the day. We're about to get some more right now. There it is. So I have much more money than I'm supposed to. I estimate about $800 million. So what I've done is I've turned on Choji's cheat mod, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to our resources, and I'm going to get rid of some of this extra funding. Literally just going to delete it here because I shouldn't have this, and I don't want to accidentally make this an easy game. So there we are, back down to 1.3 billion. It didn't impact anything up to this point in the game, so it's okay, but I want to let you guys know that I'm aware that it was an issue, and what I'm going to do is every 10 souls, delete $400 million. I'm just going to have to keep doing that manually until we can figure out how to get the gosh dang save game to actually update the values to match what the mod calls for. It's immensely frustrating, to be honest, and Alpha's working really hard trying to find a solution. I'm trying to find a solution, but it's just so bizarre. And honestly, as far as things go, if that's like the worst it's gonna be, then I consider myself lucky. I was probably gonna turn this on anyway, because what I'd like to do in this series is actually trigger all of the hard mysteries. Not just the one that we've already got, right? It'd be kind of cool to do all of them consecutively, not at the same time, just so I'm truly under the gun. Don't you think? I think that'd be fun. When life gives you lemons, we get the enthusiast trait. That's the spirit. Fun fact, life never gave us lemons. We invented them all by ourselves. You guys familiar with that bit? I think it's hilarious. I don't know, there was some tweet and someone figured out, like, so I just found out that apparently a lemon isn't naturally occurring. And then someone did a great voiceover for it. But what's really cool are some of the funny animations that come out of it. Like, let's say, someone did an animation for the God Emperor of Mankind from Warhammer 40k, and he looks so proud that humanity created lemons just to screw with ourselves. It's just great. It's awesome. I love it. Very sidetracked from the main point of the video. Sorry, I just think it's funny. All right, we actually can work on making polymers now. Good. Until I get more population, I don't really see the point yet, but that is something we'll want to do soon. We also could launch our rocket back to Earth. I guess I don't see any reason not to. I mean, we're not going to have any underground rare metals for a while. I can't get any more passengers. We might as well just send it for a really, really big cargo rocket. We have also produced food, which means another milestone is done. Thank you for a little bit of extra free science. What else do we even want to research, honestly? Probably the decommission protocol would be good. I know a lot of people were recommending we go for greenhouse gases early, and I do agree with that in theory. Honestly, I'm very concerned about the natural disasters since we seem to be in a spawning location for dust devils. So raising the temperature could eventually allow us to melt water on Mars, and once we have melted water, we can increase our moisture levels, and those start to go away. But I can't really afford that from a maintenance and building perspective yet. So I'd love to, but no, it's not actually an option. Not for a little bit longer. Yeah, look at all these dust devils. I'm really in a major pocket for them. I'm absolutely positive of that, which definitely makes this scary for me. I have discovered topology AI, not useful. This would actually be okay for faster terraforming projects and stuff like that later, but we've got the landscaping nanites as a breakthrough. This is always going to be better, and it's cheaper. So why would I ever do this, right? I mean, I don't know. Fun fact, by the way, about topology stuff. When I was in grad school, which, by the way, I did drop out of. I never got my master's degree because I hated it. There's a lot of reasons for it. But anyway, I was studying, required to study, I should say, the development of a program for something called topology optimization, which is an interesting little engineering algorithmic technique that can basically take a few set parameters like, load and constraints and, physical locations and stuff like that, and try to create new optimal shapes for the least amount of material and weight possible. It's kind of cool, but what I was required to study was basically how can I use that to develop a new shape for a plane? Like, forget the fixed wing style you guys are used to. Literally just rethink it completely. Still get enough lift, deal with all the aero loads, but still fly, right? And be a lot more efficient. And I was like, okay, cool. One, this is way over my head. There's no way I'm doing this. Secondly, if I could, do you really think I'd be doing this for free for a university? You're not even paying me. I'm not even getting this for free. I could make this program and sell it for millions of dollars. It was stupid. It was never going to happen. Cool idea, but it was never, ever going to happen. Reduce the cost of physics tech. Well, that is certainly nice. One of the things I'm actually a little bit worried about in this mod, and that maybe it's not working, it is currently set up so that you should be finishing your research 10% slower. It certainly seems to me like the cost is the same. It says it's the same as the normal cost. I kind of figured that this, for example, would go up to 1100 science as my requirement, but for some reason it's not showing it. I assume it's still working, but I'm going to have to do some more experimentation with the mod and make sure that that's true. Because I know some people would like me to maybe publish this mod on Steam once I'm done with it. But you guys are watching me debug it and figure it out, like, live, okay? Which, by the way, is the main reason I'm really concerned that I'm not able to apparently update the parameters with the mod. I don't want to lose the save file, gosh dang it. Anyway, this is worth $500 million in funding. Well, thank you. More funding is great. Do we need to start thinking about where we're going to get our next round of concrete? Let's go ahead and plan that out over here. Because this deposit only has 11 left. And I'm going to need a lot more if I'm going to keep building up all these domes. Concrete could become a problem for us at some point, for sure. We have finished with another research. Apparently that was the 15 I needed to get my 10 free supply pods. Well, thank you. So that means that I can get 10 of these without costing me, like, what is it, $100 million or something like that? That's not too bad. It's not a super useful benefit. It saves me a bit of cash. I mean, it's overall worth $1 billion, which is great. But it's not fungible money, right? It's like I'm not going to use that anywhere else that matters. So if I need some emergency supplies, it's not so bad. Otherwise, I'm just going to hold on to it for a while. Not super urgent right now. Got our concrete up just in time for it to get murdered by a dust storm! Freaking heck. I was going to say just in time for this thing to run out. So now I got to salvage this building, which is one of the reasons I need the decommission protocols, because I can't actually get rid of any buildings yet. These dust devils, dude, they are going to be a problem. Anyway, for now, we're kind of in this weird state where I just have to sit back and wait for a little bit. As long as our life support's looking okay, as long as our population is growing, we're going to be fine. But it is taking its sweet time. I want to get this other dome up, but, like, the sooner I pick it up, the more I have to start paying maintenance on it. So is it really a very high priority? Not the second it's not. But I guess now that I do have a youth available, we could start working on manufacturing my own polymers. And that wouldn't be a bad plan. The more self-sufficient we can be, the better. Even if I can just cover my maintenance costs, if nothing else, just the maintenance costs, that would be a very good position for me to be in. And we're going to be producing, it looks like 1.1 per soul. All right, that should be enough to make up for the 0.5 I'm currently consuming. Doing okay on machine parts as well. I think we're making about 0.7 per soul. It says 1.3, but I think it's actually more like 0.7. So, okay. So electronics are the thing that I'm currently completely insufficient on, which is not surprising. That's going to take a little bit longer. Plus, we just can't run out of any of our base resources. Water, metals, rare metals, and so on. Do we think it would be worth getting myself another one of these RC Explorers for the science? It might, actually. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get myself one more of them. $440 million is a lot, I know. But I'm willing to do it. Overall, it's a pretty sizable increase to my... Oh, cold wave, frick me. It's a pretty sizable increase to my science, and it just takes advantage of the powers of the Priest of Pravus. Which, by the way, I know it sounds like it's a really powerful ability. It's not. I mean, it can be. It gains value the more you use it, I guess is the better way to put it. Because of the diminishing returns. If I were to have, like, let's say 10 RC Explorers, that'd be expensive, but sure, would that give me a lot of value? Absolutely it would. But at the beginning of the game, getting the second RC Explorer, that only was worth like an extra 20 science per soul for having my High Priest Commander. Like, it's really not worth much. Getting my next one, okay, now his value goes up to 70 science per soul, right? And then it'll go up higher and higher and higher. So it's one of those things where I think it's balanced in the sense that it gives me the slightest edge I need to take off the pain from not having any science from soul, but you have to really, really commit and invest before it becomes, let's say, a powerful ability. So to me, that seemed like it was a balanced setup. Now, I am highly concerned about the incoming cold wave. We're at 15 population now, by the way. I have to build this dome. That comes at a very bad time. Okay. Well, let's think a little bit about that. So, the subsurface heating module is what's going to protect me. It has a very short range, but you can spend power to increase it. Every building is going to start taking up more power because it needs a lot of space heaters, so anything outside of its range is just going to be expensive. You cannot have this on your domes, though. That'll get you killed. So I need to place this, like, smack dab in the center between both of these domes and increase the radius enough to not only cover the center of both of these domes, but especially my water storage. Because if all my water were to freeze and I have nothing feeding into the subsurface heater, I'm dead. I have to turn off literally everything I own just to get enough water and power to turn this back on to get everything else kickstarted. Cold waves, if you mess them up, they can kill you so bad. They really, really can. We've only got 20-some hours to get this all figured out. Oh, boy. All right, change of plans. The dome I need, but is now a lower priority. Subsurface heater, higher priority. Get it going. I don't have many other materials that I'm going to need. All right, let's do one more supply pod. I'm going to go ahead and buy some polymers and a bit of everything else. This is going to cost me most of my remaining money. Because remember, I still have to delete a bit of money once I get to Soul 30 here. But at least it keeps me afloat for a bit longer. We just have to last long enough to hit our exponential curve. That's all that really matters. All right, so here comes my heater. So we're in good shape here. Now, if I increase the service area to about there, maybe here. It's a 5 power difference. I think for safety, let's put it here for the moment. So if we do this, that's enough to keep me afloat for at least a while. And placing my last free moisture vaporator over here should be enough to keep me in the positive. I'm going to need a lot of power to make sure that none of this stuff shuts down on me. That would be a disaster, which of course means more metal maintenance, but it is what it is. Yeah, so now we can store up a pretty hefty amount of water. This is good. And I think, well, here we go. It's about to hit. So I think we have enough power that will be okay. This is where we start turning off all non-essential systems, even if they could be valuable to me. Because it's simply not worth all the extra power requirements. But this protects most of the stuff that matters. So my oxygen system's out here draining more power than it should. But it never drained much to begin with. As long as I turn the rest of this off, we're okay. 6 souls for a cold wave, though. Frick me! That is not a small amount of time. That is so much. That's... Whoa! I honestly didn't even know that was legal. I didn't even know that was allowed. Anyway, I guess now's a horrible time to be building another basic dome, but one of our children is currently out on the streets, which just seems heartless, so we should probably fix this. Bioengineering is done. That's going to boost up comfort for all of my people in our domes. So that's going to boost up the birth rate inherently, which is good. Wouldn't be bad to get things like the advanced Martian engine, so we need less fuel in order to operate our rockets. Eventually shuttles later on. I do love those. Maybe fuel compression as well, you know? Just so we can take, like, more stuff when we bring our rocket back. I think it's hilarious, by the way, that Paradox Interactive has now decided to be the rival that's going to mess me up and take all my planetary anomalies. Doesn't really matter. I don't actually care about them. I just, out of principle, don't like that they get to do it. Anyway, second dome is up and running. We need to place down a passage between them. And also never forget to place down a passage ramp. In the past, I've actually built things so compact that I've forgotten about this. And that ends up being a bit of a mistake. But you want to be able to have rovers go around here. Otherwise, it just slows you down. They got to go around everything. It sucks. How are we doing on power? Barely okay. I'm a little concerned that this still isn't going to be enough once you factor in the second dome. We'll see. Do want to get some additional housing over here. And, of course, we need to hook this up to life support as well. That's apparently very important for people. Child, why haven't you reassigned yourself to your new home? Is it because you're terrified to live all on your own? Can't say that I blame you. A child has an entire dome to themselves. Who knows what they're going to do with their time? Found some new techs. Green View underground dome construction. Only useful if you're going to take advantage of the... What was it called? Below and Beyond DLC or something like that? I don't know. Fun fact, by the way, when I was doing the videos for Paradox Interactive when that DLC came out, I mispronounced it all the time. I kept saying, like, Above and Beyond or something like that. And it's like, why? Why do you keep saying that? You're saying that's not the name of the DLC. What are you doing? Anyway, by the way, it's Soul 30. Guess what that means? Get rid of funding. So really, we're back down to $1.3 billion. Where we were at the beginning of the video. Okay, we're treading water right now. Sure, it took the $500 million, like, random event to keep me afloat, but don't sweat the small stuff. It's fine. Another person is refusing to assign themselves over here. For some reason, the children just don't want to assign themselves to this dome. I don't really know why. It would be good, by the way, to get myself things like a school. The problem is it does take a lot of electronics, but this would be the best way of making sure we actually get some halfway decent perks. We do need to get a playground. I cannot afford to wait on this. Children pretty much only have, like, one real need, aside from food and stuff like that, and that's going to be playing as a recreation source. If you don't do that, I find that they often end up having some negative perks when they come to adulthood, and that would be bad. Holy crap, there's a lot of metals down over here, by the way. Our transport is going to have plenty to do. Yeah, this canyon is full of metal deposits. It's great. It just doesn't have, like, any water in it, as far as I know, which is why I really did not want to set up my colony over there. We found 2,000 science for researching this anomaly. Nice. More predictive models of dust devils. Yeah, cool. Could you, like, maybe give me a little bit of a better warning as to when they're gonna hit me so that I don't, like, die? Oh, one of my people is unemployed, by the way, and needs work. Okay, what do I care about the most? We still are not producing enough polymers. Let's set up a second shift, work overtime, go. I actually am kind of worried that our birth rate is still not as high as I need it to be, which is surprising. I actually thought that it would be a lot higher since we have the temple providing a pretty decent comfort rating. 85, this is a little bit buffed from what you would have with the normal temple building in this game. For some reason, comfort ratings still are not as good as I think they ought to be. Where is everybody? You're all asleep? Wake up! I want to click on one of you. You'll do? What's going on? Your sanity is low. It's too cold. Well, I'm working on that. Your comfort rating's 70. Trying to remember what it requires in order to get babies. It's like 60 or 65. I'm reducing it by 5. So, yeah, as long as everyone's around 70 for a comfort rating, which we can see here, the average rating is 76, that should be enough to have kids. I guess I just kind of expected the birth rate to be a little bit higher right now. I mean, it's okay. I don't think we're in any danger right now, but I was expecting more. One thing we could work on that would be great for us is actually to start working down social until we can get some proper universities and start specializing our workers. That would be pretty smart. Some of this is not especially useful to me right now, but we have to unlock more techs. If we can do that, I think I will. Because right now, all of our workers are non-specialized, which means they have a penalty to pretty much everything they do, which is obviously not great. Now, there is a single tech somewhere in here that makes a lot of that penalty go away, but obviously you get much better performance if people are actually specialized for certain jobs. I don't care what it is. Every single job, they just get a lot better. Also, I think that I ever so slightly buffed specialists in this mod. Not by much, just a tiny little bit, like 5% or something like that, but a little tweak just to get more of an impact. We did discover, okay, micro-manufacturing is good, so we actually will be able to start making our own electronics now. I like that a lot, and I don't know if I would necessarily make this a much higher priority than the other options, but getting this sooner rather than later means I could start making my own electronics without having to buy a factory from Earth for a lot of money. If I had a lot of extra money, I'd consider doing that instead, but I don't. We can fix that if I start mining this stuff. And since I have a dome in range, we should be able to place down a mine here and have some extra people get there. So as soon as we see some more of our children grow up into youth states, we can go ahead and start placing them around here. We'll get some of those rare metals going, and that could be a good new source of income. And the cold wave finally comes to an end, thank God. All right, turn off the subsurface heater. No longer need to pay for that. We also probably don't need nearly this many of our solar plants, because we don't need to consume this much power anymore, so I'll go ahead and turn some of these off. We have the decommission protocol, so let's go ahead and clear out unnecessary buildings. Thank you. And let's get that rare metal extractor over here somewhere. We need to get another drone commander. It might be worth placing down another one of my drone hubs over here at some point. We don't have any prefabs, not right now, but getting another one and placing it up over here just to cover this entire area would be smart. We are finding quite a few anomalies, by the way, which has been nice. Lots of little boosts of some science and stuff like that. Pretty cool. And a meteor shower's on its way. Dear God, please don't hit me. I mean, there's always a very good chance that it's not going to, but it still scares me. A mental breakdown. Somebody has very low sanity. Yeah, that's gonna happen occasionally when you have these natural disasters. And there's not a lot you can do about it when you have Earth-born colonists. At some point, you can research things to make Martian-born colonists far more durable because they're used to it. This is a fact of life. They don't mind. But, yeah, at some point, it's gonna be a problem. Oh, frick me! The dust storm spawned on my rare metals extractor that I just built. That literally just threw away 2 machine parts. You suck. Also, we found nothing at an anomaly site. Was it really just a sensor glitch, or is something gonna happen later? Who knows? Here's the compact passenger module, by the way. If you happen to do, like, totally randomized technologies and pick this up extremely early, that can be very useful on maximum difficulty, but odds are you'll get screwed by the randomized tech far more often than helped. And honestly, we can make do with less passengers. Again, you just need to have a very good male-to-female ratio and focus a lot on comfort. Having a starting vista is almost a requirement, to be honest. And a great dust storm's on the way, too! Oh, good! All right. All the more reason to have a lot of water stored up, which we do. And we're gonna have to get ourselves some more power in the form of large wind turbines. Yay. Doesn't matter, though. It really comes down to this stupid meteor storm. Where's it gonna hit me, man? Where do you think? Is it gonna hit me right here? Is this where it's gonna be? So far, looks okay. Where are we going? Maybe up over here? Is this where it's all hitting? This general area? Okay, so it's not likely to drift too much towards me. So we're okay this time around. This one's always a Hail Mary. Well, not even a Hail Mary. I can't do anything about it. This one's just a hope and a prayer. Because you can get absolutely obliterated and pounded by a meteor storm, and if you get hit early in the game, there's just nothing you can do about it. It is what it is. What do we get over at this anomaly? A chromium deposit to reduce the cost of engineering tech or get deep rare metals. We're going to go for the engineering, because as much as I do love having a good deep deposit, this is kind of far away for me to actually make any use of it, and I'm not going to get anything from it for a while. I'd rather take the bird in the hand early in the game rather than the bird in the bush. Or the 2 birds in the bush, whatever, that saying, that thing, I don't know. Struggling a lot on machine parts right now. I'm probably going to need to activate a 3rd shift for this at night at some point. You'd rather not have your colonists work at night if you can avoid it. They do tend to get a morale penalty or sanity penalty if they're working at night. It's a problem, so if you can avoid it, then don't do it. We are now processing some rare metals, by the way, 0.7 per day. It's not a lot, you know? But just send 5 of those back to Earth. Hey, look, another $100 million. Ooh, a meteor that fell over here actually dropped off some free research. That does happen on occasion. We like that. And here comes the dust storm. All right. I did not produce as much oxygen as maybe I should have. We can't produce any during this storm, and it's going to last for about 3 sols. I think we're okay. Water-wise, I think we're fine. Power-wise, we're definitely fine. I'm producing this much power with nothing else on here. Yeah, we're good. Finish with live from Mars. Okay, we did find Martian education. So that's another very important tech for us, obviously. Get the university going. It's going to be a major pain just getting everyone trained up, but it pays off in a big, big way. So we need to get ourselves to a point where I have enough resources that I can just kind of hold my own for a little bit, then get everyone through university bit by little bit, and my entire economy is going to explode. This is the moment you're looking for, where you transition from just sort of barely treading water to, okay, now I actually can start building up surpluses. How's our oxygen? We've used up about half of my reserves, and we're about halfway through the storm. Yeah, this should barely be fine. I also am going to go ahead and preemptively just delete the next $400 million from my game, because I'd like to see how much money I've actually got to work with, because it might be time to think about bringing our cargo rocket back. And this is how much funding I've actually got. So, I think we need machine parts, polymers, electronics for sure. I wouldn't mind getting another drone hub. It's not too expensive, and this saves me from having to do some research. The electronics factory we can do now that I produce some rare metals. It's not great, though, not for a bit longer. I don't know about this one. And we could do some probes as well, just to do some very quick scanning, but I don't think it's worth the money, to be honest. I really don't. I'd rather just spend some extra cash buying more base resources I know I'm going to need. And I think this is going to have to be good enough, even though technically we are wasting a lot of space. Oh, by the way, I didn't name this dome. Hold on, we need to do that. Tell you what, because Alpha is helping me with this mod, let's just go ahead and name this Alpha. All right, that is my little acknowledgement to what meager services you can render unto me. No, seriously, I do actually appreciate the help, though. Modding is a very new thing for me. It's a big, scary open world, and I'm working with a very unfamiliar language for me, too. So it's like, I appreciate the help. I 100% do. I actually need to get in contact with Choji. Maybe Choji would actually know how to fix the save game issue. Or he can confirm to me, nope, you're fricked, have fun. That would feel bad, but I mean, hey, okay. Hey, look, a breakthrough tech. Really pushing it on this oxygen stuff, aren't we, by the way? 16 hours to go, huh? Everyone, we're about to do a contest to see just how long you can hold your breath. Winner gets, some sort of a prize. How about not dying? There's our breakthrough. What do we get? Interplanetary learning. Schools can now train workaholic and hippie traits. Both actually quite good. Workaholic is, in my opinion, one of the best traits in the game. Makes it so your people do not have problems with working the extra long shifts. Hippie is pretty good, because all you have to do is just place down, like, a park. Any park at all with some trees. And they tend to be a little bit happier for it. It's very easy to work with. 2 hours to go here. Are we actually going to run out of air? It's really close. It's really close. It's really close. Oh, it did happen. But everyone only had to hold their breath for all of, like, 2 seconds. So it's fine. Wait, why are you... Ah, it's a night shift. Turn on the oxygen. Jeezums, Moxie. Okay, apparently because it was nighttime, he wasn't turning on. Everyone's fine, though. Everyone's fine. Everyone's fine. That was just a major sanity loss. That's all. It's fine. We're also completely out of machine parts. See, this is the thing. It says my machine part maintenance is only 0.4. But I've now got a broken down metals extractor and a couple of broken down wind turbines. And yet somehow, clearly, I'm not producing enough machine parts, even though I'm supposed to get... Well, it was 1.1. What happened to one of my workers? Did he go insane? Did he snap? I think he might have. Hopefully the infirmary can take care of him. Hopefully. And worst come to worst, this is also why I'm bringing more stuff back with my rocket. That we're going to immediately use up all those resources. Tell you what, supply pod, this will be even faster. Let's just get ourselves some machine parts. Okay, we're now down to only $687 million. We're spending too much money. It's a risk. And my concrete extractor's broken. Yeah, machine parts across the board are just obliterating me right now. But, like I said, supply pod got here in like a quarter of the time, so there's a bunch more. We're safe now. And here comes our rocket. There's stuff in the way. Frick it. All right, move it over here. You guys didn't want to give it a new paint job while it was on Earth? Get that decal on there? No? That sucks. What kind of planetary anomalies did we get? I know some new ones recently came through. Use an RC Explorer to get a breakthrough. Absolutely. 100% worth it, and we only need 30 fuel this time. No, turn off all rare metals, please. Bring those back. I don't want to launch those into space yet. Now, we can place that drone hub I was talking about, and if I place it up here, I actually can reach all of the concrete and the water and everything else in this area, which is pretty perfect. So this solves a lot of my issues for the drone commander. Now we can go do whatever we want. All right, so are we ready to go for that breakthrough tech? Yes. Pray we... Oh, the decal's here! Hey! Why'd the decal just show up? This is a mystery to me. Is it only for the animation when it launches? Doesn't make sense. It doesn't have to make sense as long as the decal's there. That feels good. But I am very confused. We get designed forestation. That's terrible. Newly grown forests have a chance to spawn vistas and research sites. It actually is good, but only in the very late game. You know, it's very good that I got myself these little things here, because otherwise I would have had not a single useful breakthrough on this entire map. That would have felt real bad, man. It still does, but like, wow. Wow. Now the decal's actually sticking here permanently now. Look at this. Huh. I'm so confused, but I love it. Population, by the way, has increased up to 20 colonists now, which is good. And it looks like with this extra anomaly over here for some research, we should be able to finish up Martian education. So with Martian education, we'll place down one of those universities. The first thing we'll probably want to train up are going to be engineers. just to boost up our production with things like machine parts and polymers. After that, I'm not sure. It could really depend on a lot of things. Getting a biologist is not a bad idea to boost up our food production, but we're doing fine on food. Getting some geologists so we can get the rare metals up and running faster isn't bad. And then, of course, there's also the scientists. I'm trying to remember what kind of person do we need here at the Temple of Pravus. I actually don't think you need a specialist to work this one. I could have made it like medics or something, but I didn't. That's also an option, actually. Yeah, medics wouldn't be bad. Anyway, in theory, we're making 2 machine parts per soul, and I need about 1.3, so this should be treading water with 4 workers. I'm watching us slowly build up a stockpile of polymers, so I think that's fine. So it's going to be electronics, and you need that for all of your education initiatives anyway. So that's the next thing that's going to mess me up. Get the electronics up and running. But following this, we're going to have the micro-manufacturing. And again, with engineers being trained as specialists, that becomes pretty doable. There's Martian education. Okay, let's pick it up. Martian University. I probably would have preferred to put this in the research area, I guess, but over here's totally fine. 15 electronics, Jesus. I told you it wasn't going to be cheap. I wasn't kidding. We might actually need another supply pod. I think we do, just for electronics, which happen to be some of the most expensive stuff you can get, so hooray. It's fine, I'll just spend almost all my money. It can't go wrong, right? God, I hope this is okay. I really do. But I'm buying most electronics because this is the one I'm going to be missing the longest, so I might as well. And I know we have somebody who's unemployed. Doesn't matter. As soon as the university is done, he'll have something to do. Study. Okay, it's done, and a bunch of people just automatically sent themselves over here. So this is the question. Can we afford to have a lot of our buildings off for a bit? The answer is yes. I can hold off on polymers, and I'm willing to hold off on science for a little while. That's not a big deal. That's kind of all I'm willing to give up for the moment, though. All right, and then what do we want to train? Y'all know, engineers, go. It's gonna take a while for this to work, but it'll pay off. I'm promising you, this is it. This is the moment we've been waiting for. Spy games. What do we have here? An applicant slated to our colony has been listed as a desired applicant by a rival colony by mistake. Performs espionage and sabotage tasks. Sure. Send Sanders to a training camp. We can't miss this opportunity. I don't mind antagonizing Elon Musk a bit more, all right? Only one of us deserves the angry web planet, and it's gonna be me. You know why? Because my cultists look suspiciously like the Adeptus Mechanicus machine cult people from Warhammer 40k. That wasn't intentional, by the way. But it sort of worked out, especially because, guess what? I'm on Mars! We are going to expect results in a few souls. Steal technology worth any value. Interesting. Let's see how that plays out. You know, I hope I said that Adeptus Mechanicus stuff correctly. I'll be honest, I'm not a Warhammer 40k guy. I did play Space Marine 2 recently. I had a lot of fun with it. I definitely went down some lore videos. Uh-oh. The dome's about to get smacked. Well, this is going to be great. Yeah, I did go through all of that. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I went through the lore videos. I enjoyed that too. It was great. But there's a lot that I'm missing. I'm not the guy who got into it. You know why? Because I know for a fact that Warhammer 40k is one of those games that you can spend your entire life savings on and you'll never be satisfied. I know that. I've watched it happen to people, and I don't want to get involved. But the lore seems so dang cool. Found another breakthrough anomaly tech here, by the way. Oh God, for once, please give me something that's actually going to make a difference. You know? Like all extractors can work without needing any colonists or something. That'd be amazing. Safe mode. Well, I mean, it's okay. If there's gonna be a sanity breakdown, instead, people literally just go to sleep for a few hours and then wake up. It's fine. Yeah? There's nothing wrong with this tech. This is good to have. Especially since I'm gonna have a few Earthborn hanging around and going crazy for at least a while. Up to 23 colonists now, by the way. We have more colonists than drones. That feels pretty good. Still no graduates from the university, by the way. It takes a while. I don't remember how long. Is it like 5 souls per worker? It's something along those lines. It takes a while. It's super worth it, but it takes a while. Finish micro-manufacturing. This means that we will be able to start manufacturing our own electronics now, so that's pretty huge. Ooh, less maintenance on all buildings. That's a very good tech. And general training, less penalty. This would have been useful if it had come a bit earlier, because I plan on getting rid of my non-specialized workers anyway. So it'll be useful to have, but it is no longer as high a priority. The university is where I'm investing my efforts. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Somebody became an alcoholic. I don't even have any alcohol here, so that's not gonna do you a lot of good. Where? Oh! Bye, concrete. It's nice knowing you. Yep. Fun. Thank you very much for that. Yep. Honestly, it could have been worse. It's only going to cost me one machine part instead of blowing it up entirely. Gonna go ahead and amplify the rare metals extractor. Cost me a couple polymers and more power consumption, but boosts up everyone's production by 25%. Faster rare metals means better electronics manufacturing and or more money from a rocket if we need to. We get our first result from the spy games. Let's see. Data package reveals new tech. Okay. 2 containers are on their way. We can steal them. The hastier the operation, the greater the risk. Steal the first and presumably the second, or take your time, only go for the second. I don't remember what the risk is, but I'm guessing it's pretty high. Let's go for the second. Adapted probes tech. That was this one up over here, right? Useless. That saved me all of 1,000 research. Gosh dang it, more dust devils, go away! I just repaired this thing. Oh, for frick's sake. Literally went straight across, hit the drone hub, hit the rare metals extractor, and is circling back around for more. Oh my god. It's fine, just hold out for the engineers. Once we have engineers, all problems are solved. Oh yeah, we need to delete some money. Oh my god, this hurts. Every time it hurts. On the plus side though, this at least shows that the mod is working as intended. This was supposed to be hard. I was worried it was too easy. Turned out I had messed something up and now it's hard again. Oh well, our first round of graduates should be appearing in just a moment. There we go. Da, 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 da. Oh my god, thank god. Okay, so now, how'd that guy even get? I don't even know. Now that we have engineers, we're gonna start seeing a lot of our productions jump up. Yeah, 1.6 polymers for 1 worker on overtime. That is better than like 2 non-specialized workers. That's why these guys are so good. They're literally like 2 to 3 times more effective. Now, I don't necessarily have to have engineers from here on out. I could, or we could set this to just auto and let the thing just kind of take care of itself. I do think it would be worth trying to get myself the electronics factory now, since we do have some engineers coming into play. We'll take the rare metals I've got, start making those electronics. Were there any other planetary breakthroughs I wanted, by the way? Research progress for 5 drones. Super worth. Go, do it. And with electronics done, we'll just do 1 shift on overtime for the moment. We actually don't want to use up all of my rare metals too quickly. We got to be careful on that or I won't be able to make money. What just happened? I don't even know what happened over there. It's fine! Planetary anomaly was worth 3,500 science. Thank you. And that gets me the sustainable architecture, which means that structures like my university will need maintenance far less often, which basically is a net increase in all of my important resources. Maintenance is so important in this game. And spy games, we did get some rewards. All right, it's now above our colony and under our control. This has raised several flags. With enough information, we can perform more sabotage. I don't really care as much about sabotage. I care about theft, but not sabotage. I would say I don't care anymore. Let's just go ahead and bring her back. It's not worth risking the agent, right? Welcome back, Agent Sanders. You're a hero. Get a colonist. Yay! We got 3 pods, 25 electronics, 25 polymers, and 25 machine parts. Oh my god, Trish, I love you. Marry me, Trish. That's all I gotta say. Marry me. And with that, I think it's time for us to end this video. 0.9 electronics per soul. That is barely enough. Well, it says actually maintenance just dropped, so I think it just cut in half. So I think we're good to go on that front. We're now making enough machine parts. We should be making enough polymers once I get the engineers up and running. This education is going to be huge. Okay, all right. Yes. Next video, I think, is when things are really going to start taking off for us. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If so, I would ask you hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.